Well, welcome to another series of TFA Hangouts and YouTube videos. Today we're going to talk about Family Search Family Tree and the Watchmen. We're going to talk about why we want to help as Watchmen, what we'll be doing, and how. And we're going to have Ron kind of host this discussion with Noel Taylor's on, and I'm here to make some additional comments. So Ron, it's on to you.
Okay, so first thing what we're going to do is post this little document that we've been working on so that you can see how this works. So I'm going to put that up on my screen, and I hope everybody can see that. Does that show on everybody's screen yet?
Yes, it's good.
Okay, so this, excuse me, this little document explains, first of all, what we're trying to do as we collaborate using the church's system called the FamilySearch Family Tree. FamilySearch Family Tree, for those that haven't looked at it, is basically a large pedigree database, and it's shared worldwide. Anyway, what we have inside the FamilySearch Family Tree is the ability to watch certain lineages. So a given person can go in and say, I want to watch this person in Family Tree and see if there's anybody else making changes to it.
Or collaborating, right?
Collaborating, whatever they want to do with it. But anytime a change is made to a person in Family Tree, a message on a weekly basis is sent out to whoever is watching that person, and they're notified that a change has been made, so they can go back in and see what the changes are. We are going to use that functionality that's built into Family Tree for people that are in our Taylor Family Association, and we're going to call them Watchmen. So this little document is to explain what a Watchman is, what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do it, and why they're supposed to do it. And we're going to start with why at the top. So why do we have Watchmen? We know that there's a lot of people descended from Joseph Taylor and Sarah Best. We probably, actually, we're stating here the Joseph Taylor Sr., who is one generation further back. Okay? So it looks like Noel just popped up because there's noise coming through his microphone.
Carry on.
Did you see that?
That's okay now.
Not a problem. If you mute your microphone, then it won't do that at all. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. We've got an estimated 100,000 or more. We probably have more descendants of Joseph Taylor and Nancy. Most of those people are probably not doing genealogy, but a lot of people are. We've actually detected changes to William Taylor, Elizabeth Patrick family, more than 500 that we know of. That's quite a few people making changes to those lines. So what we're trying to do is figure out a way that we can actually coordinate our efforts a little better. And here's some of the issues that we're encountering. So I'm going to scroll this up a little. First issue we have is there's a lot of people are adding incorrect information to people in the family search. We need to have a way to fix that in a way that it doesn't affect everyone. So every time somebody adds a third wife or a fourth wife to William Taylor that we know doesn't exist, we have to go back in and fix that. Second item, some people are deleting information on individuals that has been in there for years and years, that's been researched for maybe 100 years. Now let's go in with one stroke of the keyboard and delete that. We don't want that happening. So we have to reverse those deletions to bring that information back, and that takes a long time. A lot of the reasons why they're doing deletions is because it doesn't match their information, or they can't get their pedigree to look exactly the way they want it. So they just go in and delete stuff and try to make it look the way they want it. That's not the way that we correct this information. We have to carefully adjust it and document the information that is wrong and so forth. We don't just simply delete. Third item. Some people are merging people in family tree erroneously. So they'll put two people together that are not really the same person. And sometimes they never come back and fix the problem. They leave it merged together. I've found, for example, on William Taylor, that people have merged other William Taylors with him as early as 1600 and as late as 1950. Now, I know for certain that he wasn't 450 years old. This is not possible. But people are merging those. So they have to be split in order to correct that problem. And we have designated our watchman as the person to go back in and fix those things and split those. Fourth item. Whenever there's errors in family tree and somebody downloads that information to their personal computer, then they usually end up sharing that information with the rest of their family, and then those people share it with the rest of their families, and pretty soon we've got thousands of copies of erroneous data floating around that everybody thinks is right because it came from family tree. So it's really important for us to get the picture correct on family tree. Fifth point. Some people can't get the pedigree on family tree to do exactly what they want, and so they create another duplicate of the same person and think that that's going to solve their problem. It doesn't. It creates another duplicate that we have to deal with. So again, our watchmen are going to be looking for those things and hopefully getting those merged back together with our main individual. And then the last one is duplicates in LDS ordinances for those that are concerned with not performing the LDS ordinances multiple times. I've actually seen individuals that have had their sealings and baptisms and so forth done hundreds of times. There's no reason to rebaptize somebody more than the original one time. That's all they need.
So let's talk about what we'd like our watchmen to do then, Ron. Okay?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to cough there.
Yeah.
So tell me what?
Let's talk about what we want the watchman to do.
Okay, yeah. The next thing is, actually, that's coming up, the third thing. The next thing is, what is a watchman?
Yeah, oh yeah, we got to define them.
Probably guessed what that was based on what I was saying from the first section. But a watchman in the Taylor Family Association is a slicer that has been designated by the association to watch a specific individual or perhaps a set of individuals in family tree and make sure that nobody's messing with them. Nobody's getting them all combined or deleted or whatever. Your microphone came on again, Noel.
Yes, my wife.
Sorry, Ron. I'm sorry. I'll get out of here.
It's okay. It's not you. It's because the microphone's on. At the top of your screen, at the top of your Hangout screen, there's an icon for the microphone. Just click on mute.
Okay.
I got it.
Let's go forward.
Okay. All right. Are we still on screen there?
Yes, we certainly are. Can carry on.
Okay. So the important thing is that the watchman as far as the Taylor Family Association is concerned, is not just anybody watching Family Tree. It's one of our slicers that we have designated to watch that individual. And we're hoping that all changes to that individual can be coordinated with our watchman that we have designated. Okay, so next is the how. How do we expect a watchman to do his job? First, we want the watchman to be assigned by the Family Association to a specific branch or a specific person in Family Tree. And here's their duties. Number one, they want to mark that person in Family Tree as one that they are watching. That way they will get the notices on a weekly basis from FamilySearch about any changes to that person. Second, in the FamilySearch life sketch for these key ancestors like William Taylor, we want to post a message in the life sketch, because the life sketch shows up right at the top of the information that's presented by Family Tree about an individual. So that's the first thing somebody should see when they look at that individual. And so in the life sketch, we've got an example here of a little memo that might be posted on the second one. This is a person that doesn't have any duplicates. And I guess, Gordon, we're going to come back in a minute and show the example of the one that we have for William Taylor. We'll do that in just a second.
Yes, let's do that.
But for a person that doesn't have any duplicates, at this point in time, we can simply post a simple message like this, where it says, this person is part of the Taylor Family Association. You can learn more about the family and join at, and it gives our URL for our website. Contact the designated watchman directly with questions at, and then we'll put the email address of the watchman right there. And we'll also put in the name of the watchman instead of just saying designated watchman. So they'll know who it is and how to contact the watchman. Third point, we want the watchman to monitor any changes in that person's profile. And they do that by watching the weekly log that comes from FamilySearch. And then if changes have been made, they'll go into FamilySearch and see what those changes are, make sure that they're valid changes. If they've done deletions and merges that are incorrect, they need to reverse those. They need to send a message out to the people that are making those erroneous changes and let them know that we're watching this thing carefully. They could even let them know that there's 500 other people watching this. And anyway, encourage them to coordinate with us. We can't force them to coordinate, but we'll encourage them. Fourth point, we want to address any changes to the person using the email. So hopefully, if the person that we've detected as making changes has an email, we'll send them back a message saying, we're watching this, thank you for these changes, we've never seen these before, or we've seen this stuff 1,000 times and we don't want this change in our file. We've proven that it's false, and here's the reasons why it's false, and please don't keep adding this to the Taylor Family Association file. So anyway, either accept or reject the stuff coming in. And the fifth point, we want our watchmen to add discussion notes about the recurring changes with good explanations that can clarify what the problem is, what we're working on, what theories are currently being entertained, the theories that have been proven false, and so forth. Just a good discussion as to what's going on with this information so that we can get it cleared up. Okay, the second major step of what we want a watchman to do is keep a list of all the FamilySearch patrons that are making changes to that person's profile. I know we can't get all of them, but we can get a lot of them. And as I mentioned earlier, there's about 500 or more that are making changes to William Taylor's file. And it's helpful to have those all in a nice list so that you can send out a group email to all of them saying, this is what's going on, this is what we're trying to solve, and so forth.
Yeah. Ron,
yeah.
the items that we would put in that list are maybe very valuable for that collaboration.
Yeah.
That second point there.
Yeah, if people can see the problems that we're trying to solve and what they can do to help us solve it, I think it'll help them to coordinate more with us instead of just going out and posting anything they want anywhere. Anyways,
I will provide on the Google Docs. I'll provide an example of this contact information spreadsheet for them, so they can see how they might be able to use that to collaborate.
Yeah, we definitely want to show an example of a spreadsheet that Gordon, or one that I've been using. These spreadsheets help us a lot because as we tabulate some of this information, we begin to realize how many other people are actually trying to make changes to some of this data. And they're just all, I mean, they're all with good intentions out there trying to fix their pedigree, but it just doesn't help for it to flip back and forth all the time. Anyway, so that's what the Watchmen are for.
Yep.
Third point for the Watchmen, and this one's pretty simple. We want them to add appropriate changes from the family tree into our legacy database slice that they've been given. So if they find new descendants or marriages or births and deaths, they can put those into the slice, and then those will become part of our master file. This includes new descendants, new family group sheet information, significant events, LDS ordinances, new sources, new research, and this one is important, new theories. If somebody's got a new theory where they think our Joseph Taylor Sr. really came from, we need to know about it. And we need to document those theories and then start adding evidence. If there's evidence for the theories, we can follow them. If it's just a wild, out-of-the-blue theory, not much we can do with it. But we can start accumulating evidence, and then maybe we can prove the theories to be true or false.
Ron, while you're looking up the phraseology that we used with William Taylor, let me just comment that part of our impetus for doing this is a conversation which we had with Ron Tanner.
Correct.
He was talking about the idea of creating impedance. Impedance is an electrical term meaning resistance to change. And he said he wanted us to be able to help create this impedance to change so that we don't have these dynamic changes like you were talking about with William in the system. So we're hopeful that this approach, which we'll have to teach to all of our slicers and to those who would like to be able to share our idea, will help them. One other thing, we are seeing that there are about a third of the family history changes made by people. The people do not have email addresses. Ron Tanner, again the project manager for FamilySearch, assures us that they hopefully will solve that problem within the year. It may be something like in Facebook, where you go in and say, I'd like to talk to so-and-so, and then they pass the information along. But at any rate, they are looking finally, after all these years, at being able to, for us to be able to collaborate totally with all those persons who made changes. Okay,
Exactly.
Ron.
Okay, so
I see that the wording is up here. We can't see it too well. You'll probably have to read it to us, but share where it is and what it looks like.
okay, this is I'm in Family Tree. I'm looking at one of the copies of William Taylor, one of the duplicates, and who knows whether all of our duplicates are still there today. They were yesterday, but somebody might have deleted one, and I may have to restore it. But this one's still up here. This one is William Taylor with Family Search ID number L824-3Y8. So I'm going to look at his life sketch right here, and I'm going to open it up, and we'll see more of it. This is the whole life sketch. I'm going to take this piece out of here, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put it in our document that we've been talking about so you can see it better. Let's go back to the Hangout. Let's see, I'll change the screen back for you.
We want to remind everyone that this is to be used when you have individuals that have that statement that pops up. This profile cannot be merged. That's when this phraseology needs to go in the discussion.
Yeah, here's the phraseology that I just put into our document. And I'll read it in case you can't see the whole thing. Can you see it pretty good?
We can see it, but go ahead and read it for emphasis.
This is the memo that we put in the life sketch of William Taylor. The Taylor Family Association, comprised of descendants of Joseph Taylor and Sarah Best, have designated Ron Taylor as the primary watcher to coordinate any changes to this family tree person. If you have any proposed changes and want to work with us, please communicate with him at email address doitforron@gmail.com. We are also aware that duplicates exist in Family Tree for this person. Family Search has promised that eventually there will be a way to merge these, but many of them cannot be merged at this time. Some have tried to mark them as not a match, while others have tried to delete them. Neither of those options is the correct way to resolve the duplicates. Please do not delete or declare as not a match, because we just have to reverse those actions repeatedly. Also, do not add another duplicate and merge the old records into it. A merge is similar to a deletion because one record is deleted and the other remains. These are the Family Search IDs that we are tracking and know are duplicates, which cannot currently be merged. And then we list the three main ones that we have for William Taylor, and then below that we list the ones that we've been working on, and we indicate these four right here were merged into the LVWG-7WB record. See it up there. And the second one, that one was merged into this L824-3Y8 record. So those were some that we were capable of merging. There may be lots of others that we still haven't found, but what we're trying to do is eventually have one solid profile for William Taylor that everybody can tap into and solve some of their pedigree problems.
Well, thank you, Ron, for your time. Yes, we will spend some time sharing this with others, and it will be up on the Hangout probably within a half an hour. I mean, up on YouTube within an hour. Thank you, Noel, for joining us for this presentation. We appreciate Ron's time.